Hi, I'm R.M. Fischer, the artist who created Rector Gate. I'm here standing in Rector Park in the middle of Battery Park City. I was invited to provide a proposal for a possible sculpture for this particular site, along with a few other artists. And I was lucky enough to be chosen to provide this gateway. The structures, that buildings, the park, the esplanade was all here. It was just an empty area. It was perfect because it was somewhere between a small urban park and the Hudson, and a lovely corridor that existed from all the way back there right to the river. So it seemed to me that it needed some kind of celebratory structure that would invite people to look through it, to perhaps come here and enjoy this particular area. It's a kind of a traditional thing to do. Parks throughout history have had archways to enter into them, and even in ancient Greek times and Roman times, where there would be these celebratory arches that would invite people into the city. So it seemed like a perfect vehicle. So this one was an opportunity to do something really high production, and that was really exciting. My solution was to have a gateway. The competition, I think, happened in 1985, and that's when I received the commission, and the piece was installed in 1989. So it took about 4 years. It's a big production doing public art. It's not just the design, it's the production of it that actually ends up being the most complicated and involves many people. You had to scale it to the site. I mean, you have these tall buildings that themselves create this corridor. So this had to complement the scale of the buildings. And it also needed to be fanciful and something larger than life. And ordinarily you go through a gateway in a garden and it's more human scale. So this kind of is oversized, bigger than life, which is really what Battery Park City wanted to be and is. And it also led the way for many other cities to mirror what happened here. I was invited to compete because of my sculpture, my studio work. I used household items, cooking woks, plumbing pipes, to create an abstract sculpture, an assemblage. Since we're by the small urban park, I created a form that takes the look of topiary forms. On that column, I started thinking about nautical imagery, windsocks, things like that that you would find perhaps on ships. The archway itself really picked up on the winter garden in a certain way that was already constructed, one of the first big buildings that was constructed here in Battery Park City. And it also is a traditional form. The future, to me, is something that's really exciting. So I wanted this to feel very futuristic, but not in an off-putting way. I wanted it to feel almost nostalgic. So I wanted it to be futuristic and nostalgic at the same time. So it takes on a kind of timeless quality. So it doesn't date itself really in any particular time and feels comfortable no matter when, hopefully, people come upon it. For me, the whole sculpture is a collage of images. There's no really specific image that I'm trying to provide. It's a combination that hopefully the viewer takes in and their own experience with objects and with buildings and architecture, somehow they feel comfortable and a sense of knowing what this is, but yet not knowing what it is. It also is meant for a vast audience. People of all types and ages come upon the work. So the hope is that there's something about the work that they can relate to and not have to know anything about art. And that's important to me because I like the fact of not being an elitist when it comes to the public realm. And I want people to be able to enjoy it on any level that they want to or can. And that's what excites me about public art. And also the interaction one has with the community when working on a public artwork is wonderful. You, for a moment in time, participate in that community and are appreciated by that community. And that's a wonderful experience for an artist who usually works by himself, alone in the studio. Along with the visual imagery that I want to invite, I also wanted it to be accessible and inviting to sit around so that it becomes a part of this place. Mostly I wanted it to be something that felt that it could be used, not just looked at. The other aspect to the seating is wanting it to be a meeting place, a place that people could say, meet you at the gate. And it becomes an icon, that it has a meaning beyond itself. The work is made from stainless steel and bronze. It has kind of a futuristic sense about it. And it also lights up at night. That's important to me, that it functions at night as well as during the day, but it doesn't light up theatrically. It basically glows from within. And that was important for me, to have it appear as it's glowing from within, rather than trying to light. I'm not trying to light the area. I'm just trying to give it a sense of inner life. It's great coming back and visiting this work periodically and to see how Battery Park City has evolved, and the Esplanade, how it's evolved. It's become a really exciting part of the city where people of all types come. So it makes me feel proud to be able to come here and continue to enjoy the work, and hope that others enjoy it continually for a long time to come.
Visit Battery Park City in Lower Manhattan and see almost 24 examples of the art of our time, from installations and landworks to sculpture and memorials.